Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Shauna. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. First of all, I want to just apologize for the little hiccup about yesterday. If you do care at all, it uploaded pretty late. I'm not sure what happened. Well, it never uploaded, so I had to do a video. Another recording, segment. But today the topic is about death. I'm sorry to just bring that on you like that, and to be so heavy, but it is a part of life, right? It is the only thing that we are guaranteed, and most times we don't have any control over when, where, why, or how, right? And I'm doing this segment, I believe, because the Most High wants me to really just reflect on life and kind of just start that conversation on being able to really look at life and stop looking at death as an ending. We've definitely heard all these stories about how people die, right? And then they go into these different dimensions, and then they come back and they have these really elaborate stories. But we do know when people die, they can be revived, but death is like death, right? They're gone. They're no longer, and at least the vessel that we know, right? They could reincarnate, they could go and do whatever, they could still be here, but the vessel, the physical aspect of them that we are familiar with is no longer, right? And I'm just applying this to people. You can apply this to anything, right? Relationships with anyone, your job, your career, people, not just a lover, right? Your relationship with yourself. I'm not telling you to kill yourself. I'm not telling you that you should kill other people. I'm not saying that you should wish death on people. I'm saying how we perceive death as a whole. A lot of different cultures, they have their own perception on death, and it's not one of those things like in the Western world, at least in America, right? Death is perceived one way, and then when you look at other parts of the world, it's perceived as something totally different, right? So I think the overall message here is to really just start paying attention to life, be more grateful for life, and not be afraid, right? Because this is a transition of our energy, a transference, and there are several theories as to if you are in control of where your spirit goes or not. There are theories on people saying that they indeed believe that they agreed to come here prior to embark on whatever it is that their soul's purpose or journey is, right? When you start observing death, again, this is something that is inevitable for all living things. Everything that lives must die, right? So I think it's really important that we have a better relationship and a better understanding with death. Now, if you look up the definition of death, it is the action or fact of dying or being killed, the end of life of a person or organism, right? So this state of being dead, right? It says the permanent ending of vital processes in a cell or tissue. So this is no activity in the body, right? Why do we feel that people live on? My uncle actually has a song, and it's entitled Live On, and it's a tribute to my father because he does live on. But you have to ask yourself, what do we intuitively know about death? right? Because we understand that when people pass on, there are pieces of them still alive and well, whether they're leaving children behind, some sort of legacy to be remembered by, or just anything that can put you in touch with them and who they were and what they stood for and what they indulged in, right? And this can vary across the board. So, what is it about us as humans that gives us the notion that people who are physically gone are still attached to us? And this goes back to the genes, the genetic sequence, our DNA. We always talk about this, how this is what connects us to the dead, right? Our ancestors, per se, not just the dead, because, we discussed how we have spirit guides and angels and things like that. Your ancestors are connected to you via the blood, your genetic sequence. This is science, okay? This is not divination. This is not witchcraft. This is science. This is the mysteries of the world. These are the things that the Most High have compiled for us to try and figure out as human beings. It's not a hippopotamus coming here having these discussions. And maybe they do. Maybe when birds are chirping, they are talking about hormones in the food and how, the food from the 60s was better. I don't know. I don't speak bird. I don't speak it. I think I understand it, but I don't speak it. Right? So yeah, I think it's really important to just kind of start paying attention to how we perceive death, what we do as far as death is concerned, as far as our grieving. And of course, no one can tell anyone how to deal with it or even how to perceive it. I'm just suggesting that there is a perspective that maybe you haven't considered in terms of dealing with death or death being in the midst. Because it is something that no one can control, and all living things have to experience this, right? And we have little information about it. I mean, we know, but I'm saying as far as where our spirit goes, we don't really have a lot of information. All we have are pretty much accounts from people, from individuals, right? This is not a collective thing. Yeah, we hear about the lights and all of that, but maybe that's their spirit journey. Maybe that's their soul. Maybe they only saw the white light because they're not ready to go into the next realm yet. How do we even know that this white light has anything to do with death itself? Why couldn't you be stuck in between dimensions? And I'm just throwing this out there again because we have this really odd understanding of something that we don't truly understand in full. And I took my shahada when I was 16, right? So when I turned Muslim, I started learning more about Islam. Growing up, I never really was afraid of death. I always knew that people could die. I would say as a kid, my first funeral was my grandma's funeral. I want to say 8, and freaked me out because she came to visit me, literally. After the night of the wake, I saw her, so they didn't allow me to go to the funeral, but she literally came to visit me. And that happened at the age of 8. So this is something that's always been with me, stuck with me forever. And I understood that she was dead and I should not be seeing her. I freaked out. I think I skipped 6 steps down the flight of stairs to run. And she said some things to me, before she left. And like I said, as an 8-year-old, I understood that I should not have been seeing her if I just saw her in the casket. So my experience with understanding the average child or the average American. African woman, I have a lot of different things because I've been around that. I've experienced a lot of people that I love leaving and having to endure this experience sooner than anticipated, right? So I think my understanding and my level and my desire, my overall desire to understand was just automatically broadened because of my experiences early on. But, in a nutshell, all living things must die, whether they return or go somewhere else. And this just goes back to the conversation of the energy, what are we connected to? Do we really have the ability to go where we said we wanted to go, to do what we wanted to do after? I have a theory that, the spirit world is kind of like a video game and I had this conversation multiple times where I feel like we all get points, and the closer and closer you get to your soul's journey and purpose, you get to unlock a new level. And if you don't do what it is you were supposed to do, then you have to come back. And sometimes because of your good deeds, you'll come in with good karma and have some of those points. But if you totally messed up, you have to start the game all over and go back to the first board. That's just my analogy. And I'm sorry to be having this conversation, but it is a part of life. It is a part of spirituality. And some things have been brought to my attention that, people were sending death my way. People play with death and sometimes feel that they are the ultimate bearers. They obviously forget that the Most High is in control of everything, in the heavens, the earth, and even wherever he wants to be. If he wants to go down to hell and shake stuff up in hell, he created it. I don't know why people feel that the devil has so much power, but stop giving the devil so much power. The creator is much stronger than anything you've ever known or imagined in every way possible, and can literally change your life in 1 second for the better. So it's not about being able to do something for yourself. It's about being able to do things for other people. And I was told today to pass this message along, because it was a message for me, that if you are in fact spiritually gifted, anointed with the powers of the Most High and using them for the Most High, it's time to start using your gifts to help other people start going into their destinies. It's time that we are going to start running into our destiny helpers. And it's time. It's time to just start applying that knowledge to everyone around you and yourself, right? I really wanted to come on camera today. I had some very important family time, and it was needed, a very needed conversation. I'm happy it occurred, and I'm just going to encourage you all to just keep healing. Keep healing. I'm in a really chill mood right now. I had to cleanse my energy before I went into that conversation because I wanted to make sure I was clear. I didn't even eat. I made sure I didn't eat before having that conversation so I could be a more clear vessel and, be more in touch with my humility and my humbleness and my heart and not in my ego. I'm not sure yet, but I'll find something to do. I'm trying to find a good book. But I love y'all. Enjoy y'all weekend. Drink y'all water, eat y'all fruit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all vegetables. And be blessed. Stay up. Peace.